All right, let's talk about this home search question. And one thing in the way I introduced it, Tracy, was okay, let's go beyond the how many bedrooms does it have? How many bathrooms does it have? What's the price? What's the square footage? How many garages? Right? There's so much more to it than just the physical structure. And one of the things that comes up a lot is, what's up with the neighborhood, right? And what's going on in the neighborhood. And one of the things as realtors that we have a little bit of a challenge with is we can't answer questions that some buyers want to know.
So true, Tigo. And, over the years, we've had a lot of people from out of state, out of area, maybe other parts of the state, out of country. Many people working at Kirtland that are PCSing and coming to Albuquerque to work at Kirtland Air Force Base. And they don't know anything about Albuquerque. And they want us to tell them about what the crime is in the area or what it's like to be in that neighborhood, what it's like to live there. And a lot of those things we unfortunately can't really give advice. What we can do is give direction on how they do their research to find out and make sure they're comfortable with it.
Well, since the Fair Housing Act of 1968, I mean, that's how far back it goes, is real estate agents can't answer questions about neighborhoods, schools, safety, and that all has to do with the Fair Housing Act, which is unfortunate because most realtor professionals are servants, right? We
want to provide.
Help. We want to help. We
Right.
want to give answers, right? And there's sometimes where we just have to bite our tongue because it can put us in trouble. So,
and what we might be comfortable with could be very different from what our client might be comfortable with. And
wait, let me just say that because that's a good point, because it's an opinion based answer in most cases.
Right.
So that's where people can go and do their own research. The good thing is in the last 10 years, we've got so many great tools available online for people to do their research. And that's what I'm saying. And, going beyond just the basics of the house.
So much availability of online research. And just, a lot of times, Tigo, when I'm showing houses to people and they go, wow, this is the house. We've literally knocked on neighbors' doors. They have. And asked them how the neighborhood is or wanted to meet the potential neighbors, or they see someone driving up in the driveway next door and they walk over and ask them about the neighborhood. So it's not us telling them about the neighborhood.
Well, okay, I got to go off script a little bit here. In our team meeting this week, we were talking about that, how some folks on our team were doing an open house and the neighbor wanted to share all about everything going on, all about the neighbor. And that's great. I mean, the neighbor was proud of their neighborhood and they wanted to share and willing. Of course, we've had the other stories where, the neighbor comes over and tells, people everything
bad about the house,
bad about the neighborhood and the house, and that person's a jerk. And, I mean, that stuff happens too. But anyway, let's just, go ahead.
Just to wrap that part of it up. Wouldn't you want to know those things before you move into the house? If there's going to be a neighbor that's going to come over and dump on you, I would rather know before I move in and they come over to greet me.
Absolutely. And I think that would be the number one tip when you're, deciding on a neighborhood or home, is walking the neighborhood.
Different times of day, different days of the week.
Exactly.
Right. When maybe a weekend morning when more people might be out and about doing things in their yard or something, maybe in the evening, take a walk after dark, see how comfortable you feel. Go to the local grocery store, make sure that you're comfortable in the environment. So, yep.
Let's go through some of the tools available online. So researching schools, there's a bunch of them. I'm School Digger and
Great Schools.
Greatschools.org are a couple resources where you have parents that have basically given reviews on the schools. They also pull in rankings from different agencies that track school test scores and stuff like that. So that's one place. Crime. I know City of Albuquerque has a crime map. There's a bunch of different crime mapping tools out there that keep track of, what type of crime and where the crime is in certain parts of town. And that's a resource that you can go to do that work as well. Something that we talked about last week, and also we got a comment about this on YouTube, was our climate here in New Mexico. We forget that we have a pretty good mild year-round climate compared to a lot of other places, like where we grew up in Michigan and Minnesota. We have a pretty mild year-round climate. We don't have extremes. We don't have much in the way of natural disasters, and that's another thing people may want to consider, which ties into the next thing, which is property insurance.
Right.
Because
homeowners insurance.
Yeah, homeowners insurance it has taken a hit in the last few years, cost wise. And, we talked about this last week, but New Mexico is kind of in the middle area for, moderate home insurance costs compared to a lot of other markets. So we're on the good side of average. How's that?
It's going up, but we're on the good side.
But that is, again, something you want to do your research on. And then the other one is taxes. And do you want to talk about the tax thing and how you can get reassessed and all that?
Sure. So our tax code for property tax says your home value cannot go up more than 3% a year.
If you don't sell.
But upon sale, the sale price is recorded to the counties by title, by law, and they have the opportunity to reassess the home at the full sale price now. So a lot of times we see big jumps when someone sells, because there might be somebody who's been in that home for 30 years and it really the property taxes haven't increased proportionately. And so there might be a big jump. And that's why we have to disclose on sale what the potential property tax could go up to based on the sale price.
Yeah.
So we disclose that when we're working with the transaction and helping a seller and buyer work together.
Just a couple things to wrap up this conversation about, doing your home search beyond just the basics. There's walkability, right? There's walk score, where you can get a rating on, how walkable is a neighborhood. There's tools on commute and what, like public commuting, like public transportation, and if it's good for that. If there's noise, there's actually a website you can go into, and you put in an address and it'll tell you, where it ranks for noise. And there's going to be certain areas, obviously in Albuquerque, it's going to be near the airport. It's going to be, along the interstates. Roads. Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes while we're on this show, Tigo, we hear a truck go by because we're right here on Alameda.
Yeah.
And sometimes the microphones pick up the large noisy trucks because there's only a few ways they can get across the river.
They're using their J brakes going down Alameda. I'm not sure why, because it's like flat. But
they
anyway,
can't use Montano. It's against the rules. So they either have to take Paseo. So they have to use I-40 or Alameda. So we do hear trucks on Alameda.
We do get big trucks down here. And there's other stuff too. There's so many different data tools out there, that you can dig into. You can really get down the rabbit hole. And, I'm a geek about different softwares and different analysis tools. So
I know you get down a lot of rabbit holes.
And then the last thing that comes up a lot when people are searching for home is they're buying a home and there's a vacant lot next to it or near it or by it. And they want to know, okay, what's going on? And, your real estate agent, we can look it up and we can see who owns that property. That's probably as far as we can take it. We can tell you what it's zoned for, if it's commercial zoned, if it's multifamily zoned, if it's residential zoned. Right.
Although there are certain areas of our metro area, especially in Rio Rancho, where it might say it's a commercial lot or it might say it's a residential lot. But when development gets there, they can rezone the whole parcel, right?
Right.
We've seen it happen many times where people say, I own a commercial lot, and we go and it gets changed.
Thanks for watching the video all the way to the end. We appreciate you. And please click subscribe. We'll keep you updated on what's going on with real estate in the Albuquerque area and New Mexico, and of course, across the entire country. Have a great one.